Hello everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you had the opportunity to listen to the overview of the course video that is located in our Getting Started module at the very top. If not, go ahead and jump back over to the course overview instruction video. Just gives an overall explanation of how the course runs and how to find syllabus and outlines and things of that nature. I also recommend, if you haven't, listening to the Service Learning Field Experience and Joy of Reading overview video. It gives more in-depth information and answers questions that are pretty common to the Field Experience Service Learning Joy of Reading module requirement. But this video is just going to break down Module 1. I will always have a breakdown video just to give you an example of the assignments, answer commonly asked questions, and things of that nature. So as we get started, you can see here that we do have our Module 1 overview page. When you click here, it's going to show you what our spotlight is, and this week in Module 1, our spotlight is on the introduction to and selection of children's literature. It will tell you what you're going to be learning this week, your objectives, where you can find the required readings, and the required assignments. So I think that's a really nice organizational piece to have. But as you work through the module, you can also just go down this way. As we learned in our overview video, there is no required textbook for this course. All of our readings are located in the weekly modules. So for Module 1, we have 2 readings that would go under what we would think of as our textbook. So this is Introduction to Children's Literature. And the next one is Selecting Books for Children's Literature. So that's basically like reading 2 chapters in our textbook for this module. We also have different supplementary articles to read, Defining Children's Literature, which is just a nice PDF to give you a more in-depth understanding of our topic, as well as book format and genres. And then what I'd like to point out here is what we refer to as the Miller article, and this is the reading that you will do in relation to completing the Literacy Autobiography that is due in week 2 of Module 1. So once you've completed Everybody is a Reader, then you will be equipped to complete the Literacy Autobiography. So here are all of our resources for the week. And then we get down to our assignments. As I mentioned in the overview video, we will always have a reading organizer due on Tuesday of every week. So starting in Module 1, you will start with Introduction to Reading, which is a reading organizer. And these reading organizers are going to look very familiar week after week. They are exactly the same every week. It's the same format. So you will always click on Make a Copy. And you can see that each, you can't see, but each reading organizer has a different title. So this one is our first one, Module 1, Introduction to Children's Literature. That's how you know that you are on the correct one for the week to go with the corresponding reading. Then you will be using the corresponding reading to answer each of these prompts. And again, these are the same prompts that you will be answering in every reading organizer. Each prompt should be about 75 to 100 words in paragraph form. So prompt 1 is describe a concept or idea from the reading that reinforced or expanded on something you already knew before engaging with the text. So what did you already know about children's literature? So you may want to use the following sentence frame to structure your response. I like sentence starters. I am a former early childhood educator, so therefore I love the sentence starters. You do not have to use these, but they could help. Before reading the text, I knew such and such about children's literature. However, the text reinforced or expanded on my knowledge by, and then you will answer the question. Please feel free to use in-text citations from the reading just to back up what you've learned. Prompt number 2, what do you think was the most important concept or idea that was shared in the text? This idea or concept must be different from prompt number 1. And you can use these sentence starters. Of all the ideas included in the text, I think the most important was because. And then lastly, there are multiple try its, read its, and watch it extension activities included in the text. Identify one try it or read it or watch it extension and explore the suggested learning from the extension. Describe your experience in learning from the chosen extension. So I will show you where to find those. Every single reading has a try it, read it, or watch it. So if your answer is, I didn't see any, they're not there, that answer is wrong because every reading does have that. So once you have completed this reading organizer, you will submit it on Tuesday of each week and you will be good to go. But just to jump back so you know what you're looking for prompt number 3, if we click on Introduction to Reading, as you scroll through the text here, you will see there's a lot of wonderful content, a lot of wonderful illustrations, and if you keep scrolling, eventually you are going to come upon, and here we are, our very first try it. This one says, examine the most loved children's books, infographic from USC's Rosiers School of Education. How many of your favorites are on the list? What books do you think are missing? So you can click out to these outside links, do what the question was asked, and then respond and put your response on that reading organizer. If you don't like that one, you can just keep scrolling until you find another one. Some chapters have more than others. You can do the big no-no. That's where you click on this link, read the story, and then explain why do you think this book might appeal to beginning readers. And there's this, try it. So there's multiple throughout the readings. And again, some are different than others. There may not be as many in one reading as another, but every single one of the readings does have a try it, read it, or watch it. So please choose one, follow the prompt, and then respond on that reading organizer. Okay, as I jump back over to modules, you can see that the next assignment that is due is the Literacy Autobiography. I already showed you where to find the Miller article. You can also locate it here. That article gives you an overview of the various types of readers that this author suggests. And I want you to find one of the readers that is discussed that you identify with. Then you will click on the template, make a copy. And here is the template for you. And really all you have to do is just answer the following questions. So based on the types of readers identified in Everybody is a Reader, what type of reader are you? And give examples that support your response. So you're just going to explain, what type of reader do you identify most with and why? Next, how has your identity as a reader changed over time? Please use details or examples to support your response. And if you don't think your identity has changed, why do you think that is? So what's happened over time? Have you just become very busy and you're just not able to read as much anymore? Did you used to hate reading, but now you love it? What changed? What happened for you? And then number 3, are you comfortable with who you are as a reader today? Why or why not? So you can see there really is no wrong answer. You're just trying to really explore who you are as a reader. In part B, you are going to choose 3 out of these 4 options to explore. So out of these 4, you're going to plug 3 of them in the following boxes. So let's just take a look at all of them. The first one would be think back and then describe a reading memory that you have. If you were to choose that one, it could be any reading memory as a child or reading with your own children or your niece or nephew. Did your parent used to read to you? How did that make you feel? What was your favorite book? Just an example and explanation of what that reading memory is. A wonderful teacher that you may have had that really turned you on to reading, and so on. So you'll just describe that experience in this box. if that's the one you choose. The next one is decide on a storybook character that you can relate to and describe the character and why you relate to him. So let's just say you love Harry Potter and you really relate to Harry Potter. You can tell me why that is. The next one is make a graph of the highs and lows of your reading experience. In this, you're going to just graph it out and discuss at least 5 events that help shape who you are as a reader. So in that option, you would explain your graph in these boxes, and then you'll actually create the graph in part C. And the graph can be created digitally, or you can make it, on a piece of paper and take a photograph of the graph. And then finally, interview someone who you knew as a young reader. See what they have to say about what kind of reader you were and what you liked or disliked. So maybe you would interview one of your parents, somebody who used to read with you as a young child or knew who you were as a young child, and how you related to reading. It could be a brother, sister, really anybody. You would then just explain your interview experience in the box, and then just include some sort of picture of your interview or anything that just represents you interviewing whoever it was you chose down here in part C. So once you have chosen your 3 out of the 4, you've written them out and explained them, then part C is to include some kind of an artifact that represents each one of your chosen facts. So here, reading memory, a picture of something that represents your memory. This does not have to be a picture of you reading with your mom or dad as a young child. It can be a picture of a child and parent reading together that just represents how you felt or what your experience was. So it can just be any sort of representation that you see fit. It doesn't have to be of the actual experience. Storybook character, that's pretty easy to find. A picture of your favorite storybook character, you could include that here. For the interview, it could be a picture of you interviewing whoever it was. It could be a picture of the questions that you asked your interviewee, however you want to represent an artifact or something that represents that interview. And then for the highs and lows, you will create that graph and include a picture of that here. So this assignment is 3 parts. You will answer questions 1 through 3 directly correlated with the Miller article. You will then, in part B, describe your literacy development through one of these or 3 of these 4 ideas, and then you will represent the 3 that you discussed in your artifacts. You will submit all of that to the Dropbox, and that will complete your literacy autobiography. Okay, if you want to take a look at the rubric, you can just see that part A and B were included, as well as part C, for a total of 10 points. All right. The last and final piece of the module is you will be starting your reading commentaries, week 2 of module 1. And in the reading commentaries, you do need to choose at least 2 books that represent our topics for the week. And for this week, our focus is on your 2 favorite children's books. They can be children's books from your own childhood. They can be books that you've read with children of your own, whatever your 2 favorite children's books are. You will want to read both books, take a picture of the book, whether it be a book that you have rented from the library that you have on hand. It could also be a book that you have on a digital reader, like a Kindle, or if you went to YouTube and did a read aloud. I want it to be a screenshot or a photo of whatever it was that you used for your reading commentary. Then you will answer all of these questions: the title, the age range, a sentence describing the book, a paragraph describing what takes place in the book, one sentence offering your personal judgment, and your pictures. You will do that for both books and submit to the reading commentary by Thursday, and you'll respond to at least 2 classmates by Sunday. If you have any questions about Module 1, please email me through